Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and I'm here today to show you how I've got my witchy bullet journal set up for the month of August.
Hi.
So, I hope y'all have been doing well since I stopped my monthly videos and just went back to my regular filming schedule. I did do a live sad life update video, which you can check out up above in the cards. But let's move forward and be very careful because of my candle and just show you what I've got going on. So in the month of July, we started off with, you would open up the flap and I had a section of my goals, my brain dump, and my sparks. The brain dump is gone because I haven't really been working on this stuff. What's been happening throughout the month for the brain dump is the stuff on my weekly. At the end of my week, I go through my weekly list and I see if any of the stuff is stuff that I think, okay, I want to do this, but I don't want to prioritize it, and I put it here. And this tends to be where ideas just kind of go to die. Or it tends to be ideas that I don't really focus on actually doing. So I need to figure out an alternative for this. And it's often like extra stuff. Like there's stuff, it's extra stuff that I do want to do, but I don't know how to prioritize it. So the brain dump part is gone. My sparks, this has morphed into something else. My Medi-Cal is still there, but it has a new friend beside it. And my goals, I ended up combining it in August. So this is my astrology goals. Well, I'll talk more about that. I have my content calendar, my astrological overview. As you can see, I did not finish filling it out, which makes me sad because I loved the concept of it. The planetary messages. While I was doing daily videos, I loved this, but it seemed a bit of a novelty that kind of wore off. I am going to be doing a different thing, which you'll see. So this is gone. I did also try to put it in my weekly, which I'll show you in a minute, but that didn't work either. So this is gone, and then I have my logs for Zariah, Cameron, gratitude, and victories, where I just write something, and this has changed too. Here's my first weekly, which I loved, but I did change it. I was trying to just write down signs and symbols. This fell off as well, so not sure how to do that. We shall see if I feel inclined. Notes from my past life reading with Lisa. Moon return reading. So this is a tarot spread. This is a tarot spread. I did a video of this one. To find out why the Queen of Swords was stalking me. That's up above in the cards. More weekly setup where I was just trying to expand it. I was doing a weekly habit tracker down here, but that just did not work. So we nixed that. Content planning flowchart. Full moon in Capricorn. This was me planning for my Leo new moon video, which is up above in the cards. This is, nope, this is last week. And nothing happened here and here. I have my August predictions, which is where I sit down and I look at my monthly card for my year head spread work. I do a video of it. It's linked up above in the cards, the August one. And I do that to determine the kind of work I'm going to be doing. And this month I'm really leaning into it as not just the theme for my bullet journal, which it is, but also actively working with that energy. My card for the month of August is the Queen of Cups. I'm going to put her here. We'll be revisiting that. And then I have a blank page for my new moon reading, which I'm going to do today. I'm filming this on the new moon. And then this is this week. So again, my focus, I did do a focus. I did do my week ahead spread. I liked both of these. My witchy planning stuff hasn't really happened. And then what I did was I made my moons and astrology energy. I smushed it. And my idea was to do my daily planetary message here, but that didn't end up working. So my week is going to be getting revamped again. And then because I'm getting there, it's very close, but there's some tweaking still. And then like here on my tasks and idea dump list, I don't care about this. I just need a running task list. So I'm going to be tweaking this. Don't know how yet. And this is today. And that brings us into August. So I got some really clear messages when I did the predictions. One, I realized that I had fallen away from doing personal predictions, which is my year ahead spread work is very predictive. Not like I will tell someone what stuff is going to be happening to them, but the kind of energy that seems to be their work for the month. And I was doing the readings for myself, sort of, but I wasn't doing them as much. Like, I wasn't doing them quite as full throttle, and I wasn't working with the energy. I think it could be very great for me to use this and really lean into my year ahead spread as a way to kind of build my day-to-day practice, because the thing for me that I've learned through bullet journaling really hard is I need things to be very cyclical. I need things to be, there needs to be some sort of a basic outline structure. There needs to be a container. And then after the container, I need to be free to just slosh around like the water in the container and do whatever the fuck I want. Too much structure and I don't do anything. An example is every time I've tried to do traditional meal planning where you like say I'm going to make these meals this week. As soon as I write the list, there'll be meals I've been craving for like 3 weeks. I write the list and suddenly I don't want any of them. And that means I literally can't fathom eating them because my brain, I have food issues, y'all. Anyways, it's just an example of the fact that this is why the bullet journal works for me, because I can build myself a structure and I can change it as many times as I want and as often as I want. So the message of this was so strongly about just really leaning into the Queen of Cups. Everything brought me back to this Queen of Cups, like focus on the Queen of Cups. And I'd kind of forgotten that part for myself, that is. So I used this as the inspiration to make this. I put my word surrender here, August 2022. And then this is a direct quote from the guidebook of the Queen of Cups, of the Starseeker Tarot. And it said, "Let your intuition be your guide and your soul be your compass." So I have that as my nice intro, and I decided to do the tail flip. And I'm so impressed. Look at my mermaid. I hand drew this. I didn't use a reflection image. And I will tell y'all the truth. This is supposed to be her diving under a wave. I did this because I can't draw hands. So I was like, fuck, I can't end her arms. So I drew a wave to make her look like she's diving back underwater. I think it turned out really well. It is a bit scribbly, but meh. So the first part is how I've combined the previous astrology stuff. So as I said, I took this away and I wanted to try this again from a different angle, maybe a bit less laid out. And I wanted to put it beside my goals, which I wanted to refocus on and renew my intention to work this way with astrology. This is some goal setting I've been doing all year, which I'll link the playlist up above in the cards. And that's where I do my goal setting and my kind of intention setting for the month based on my astrology. The sun is in Leo. That means it is Leo season. And for me, Leo is the second house of my chart, which is all about my resources. So that's my focus area. What I'm trying to do more is bring these two pieces together. So I was looking at this more separately than this. And so now I'm looking at both of these together. So it's about my resources, but it's about working with them intuitively. There's a layer of intuition here with the Queen of Cups. So I left this open, and I ended up filling this page with notes from my session I bought where I went to my astrologer and I had a reading about my Mars return, which starts on the 20th, which is actually my anniversary. So it starts on the 20th of August. That's the anniversary of how long I've been together with my wife. And then here, so I kept the goals. Every month I go through and I rate these things. Now, I need your help. If you're watching this, I need you to let me know in the comments down below what you think, because previously what I've been doing is I have been doing my predictions video where I talk about where I do my card predictions, like that one up above in the cards, and then I would do a separate video of doing the goal setting stuff, and then I would do a separate video of the planner setup. Now, I'm not sure if that's the best way to keep going for my channel overall and for you guys here. I'm not going to stop the journaling stuff, but journalings are a Friday video. So how do you feel about the idea of me trying to find a way with some fancy editing and cool shit of having all three pieces be in one video? So instead of me waiting till it's all set up and showing you all of it, there would be like a clip of the predictions, maybe a clip of this, and then the overall setup. All in one kind of thing. Let me know what you think about that. But so I have my goals, and most of the areas are okay. A few of them have gone down. My house of identity went from a 5 to a 2. I think that's just because I feel like the goo. Previously, I was feeling like I was busting out of my cocoon. But now I feel kind of like the caterpillar the caterpillar in the cocoon has become the goo. And so now I'm rebuilding. So it's positive, sort of, but I feel like I don't fit any of my things anymore, really. Like they just don't fit me. Or maybe it's like I have come out of the cocoon and now I'm like a butterfly who's still been trying to live like a caterpillar. If that makes any sense. So that went down. My house of resources is actually doing really good. But there's definitely some room to improve. My third house of communications and ideas has gone down a little. Not super concerned. My fourth house. This has caused a lot of things to go down. My home life in general feels awful right now. And there's multiple factors. Nothing super bad has happened. My marriage is okay. My son is okay. It's this. I feel like I have outgrown the vast majority of my life. I haven't outgrown my wife. I haven't outgrown my son. Everything else feels like I've outgrown it. I feel like I've outgrown the space we're living in, but we can't immediately move to a new space. So everything, a bunch of these are kind of in flux and dealing with those feelings. So the fourth house, especially my house of home, it's a lot. There's a lot I want to fix because I'm stuck here until such a time that we can relocate. And the next time we relocate, I think it's going to be a big relocation. So there's that. My 5th house of pleasure, that's doing fine. My 6th house of day-to-day life and routines, see previous statements about the 4th house and the 1st house of identity. It's a lot like the tower has fallen kind of a thing. Like the tower has fallen, it's blown, it's all laid bare, and now I'm trying to rebuild my entire life. The 7th house of relationships, same thing. It's my marriage is great. I love my wife. I love my son. It's just a bunch of these just really need some tending. And I think a lot of them are going to get tended in a couple months. Well, like extra tended. I'm working on tending them this month too, which we'll get to that. My 8th house of others resources. I mean, my wife is in school. She's working hard. There's only so much we can do for this to improve as through that time. 9th house of spirit and study, same thing. I feel like I'm just kind of rebuilding everything. The 10th house of my work, career, ambition, life's path, 10 out of 10 right now. I love my work. I love what I do here on YouTube. I love my readings. I love my work. So, and that just feels amazing. 11th house of community, that has gone down. This one's probably going to drop a bit more too, because of just all the reshaping of everything. And then the 12th house of self-undoing or mental health. I'm in mourning because a friend who was like my big brother died. And so that's just going to, and my depression has been kicking up. So that's just going to be a thing. So when it comes to making goals about my 2nd house, I decided to just go with the fact that, like, the 2nd house is my resources, both tangible and intangible. And I always list 3: time, money, and energy. So I split up the remainder of the page to those 3 sections: money, time, and energy. And there's 10 in each, so I have room for 10 goals. I think a problem I have with goal setting is I overthink it. There's a lot that gets taught about how to goal set. Like, for example, I've learned tons about SMART goals. I can write SMART goals, but my follow-through game is weak. My follow-through game is weak as I'm great at starting new things and not great at finishing them. And I'm working on it. I'm trying very, very, very hard. I seem to me to just do best if I just put goals like, set up and launch YouTube membership. That has multiple steps involved in it, sure. But I know what that means. So for now, I'm just sticking to what I know works at least part way, and I'll hopefully develop and figure out better ways as time goes on. So each section I've been focusing on goals that I feel like would improve the flow of these resources. So goals here to improve the flow of my material money type resources, like fixing up my service prices. I'm saving all my extra money right now. But that's specifically to get to California. So I can go say goodbye to my friend. So for time, I'm focusing on things that will free up the flow of my resource of time. And I'm specifically so far have focused on the things that I feel like are taking up more time than I want them to. So restrictions to tech. Tech takes up a lot of time in my house. Streamlining a set of working hours. Researching batch filming and editing. Just general goals to help me make better use of my time, so that way I have more time for the things I want time for. And then for energy, it's again goals that will help hopefully with the flow of my resource of energy. So far the goals I have are all physically related, because I am actually at my heart a very physical person. I have a lot of Aries, and Aries is the most physically embodied sign. I know it's not an earth sign, but it's cardinal fire. And when you think about fire, fire needs a constant source to feed it. And if there's no source around and there's a spark of fire, that fire will move heaven and earth to fucking get to it. Fire is a spreader. It grows, it spreads, it creeps out, it moves fast, it moves far. Fire is a very physical element. And it has a very strong physical movement, active energy. It's the most active sign. So I have things that involve a lot more activity, which I think would help raise my energy levels. And then I'm going to also be brainstorming goals that will help address my energy levels. Like a lot of this stuff here in time will also address my energy levels as well. And I'm going to finish filling them in. But the goals I have for energy are go for a walk daily, work on water tracking, jump rope or weighted hula hoop daily, go swimming every day possible. And there's more on that on the next page. But so that's my goals, and I will do more for that. On the next page, I have my medical tracker where I write down if I need to take medication or my son does or anything like that. It's the exact same, except I last month had forgotten to specifically leave a little bit of a delineation so I could write my cycle day. So I've drawn a line and done that here. And then here's now it's medical and wellness. So here I'm tackling some of these goals. And the one I'm focusing on is water. So, and I've decided to do it in a way that's not traditional. So I have the days of the month down the side, and then the hours of the day from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the waking hours of the day across the top. And why I did this is because traditional, air quotes, water tracking, where it's like, write down how many cups of water a day you drink, doesn't tend to work for me. It never has. I've tried many, many times since 2016, since I started bullet journaling. So I need to focus on the lens of harm reduction. I need to figure out ways, like how I did my teeth, focusing on trying to get from never brushing my teeth to brushing my teeth twice a day was not attainable. But focusing on once a day was. It was attainable, it was realistic, it was something I could conceptualize, therefore it was something I could do. So what I could conceptualize, and that's harm reduction. The idea is brushing my teeth once a day is way better than never brushing my teeth. So I looked at the water thing and I was like, okay, what would be better than the way we currently drink water? What's the better than nothing thing? And I thought, well, it would be good if we at least make sure we stop, pause, and drink some water every hour that we're awake. And so I wrote the hours on the top here. 6 is normally the earliest my kid gets up. The latest I tend to go to bed is midnight. And this is something I can set an alarm on my phone. I wake up, I set an alarm for, I don't know, say the half-hour mark. But if I have an alarm that goes off every hour to remind us to pause and take a drink of water, even if it's just a little sip, it's just building the habit of pausing and thinking about water. That's what I'm starting with. So if we do that, we'll get a check mark for each hour that we do it. And then over here, I had space, so I wasn't sure. Initially, I was just going to put like a happy face if we did well, because I like happy faces. But then I've added these new goals of going for a walk every day, going swimming every day possible, and skipping or using a weighted hula hoop, which I don't have yet, every day. So I added those, and again, I'll just give myself a little check mark. A little check mark or something to indicate, yes, I did those things. And then if it was a good day, any day that feels good, maybe I'll draw a happy face. I've got my content calendar. This is very much the same, although I will say I said in my last setup video, which is up above in the cards, that I have a content calendar. I have a calendar on my wall. Didn't work. Didn't actually like it. Like being able to write it down, and I'm now doing a lot more with my content planning. So not so good. So I have a space here for where I'm going to write out my August videos. I've got a space here where I can write video ideas. A small space here for Patreon or membership video ideas. And then a space here where I can write my videos for September. So that way I can, like, when it comes to the end of the month, I know what type of stuff to be working on to be ready for this week, right? Because this last week of August, the first video of September is here. So I have to be ready with that information. So this is where I can focus, so that way I don't have to flip back and forth a bunch. So that's that. I'm probably not going to show you these like in detail filled in, but that is that. I decided I wanted to do some moon magic stuff. I don't know exactly what it'll look like yet, but this is what it's starting as. And funny story, I decided I wanted to do this, and then after I found out that, and like I've got the Queen of Cups, which is very moon energy kind of related. This is a very Cancer card. Cancer is ruled by the moon. I'm a Cancer rising, yada yada. Well, I'm a member of the of Dawn Michelle's Boho Tarot Weavers. I'll link Dawn Michelle's channel up above in the cards. And it just so happens that the monthly medicine is called Moving with the Moon. So what I've done so far, don't know, I'm going to start on this today for my personal work. Don't know how it's going to go. But what I've done so far is I just put, what I really loved was that Dawn Michelle recognizes that there is a difference between the new moon and the dark moon, which is true. The dark moon is that exact moment when nothing is visible. It does not become a new moon until that first sliver shows. So the dark moon is very much like a pause right before the new moon. So I put 5 boxes on each page because there's 9 phases. I don't know what I will do with this empty box. I'll either think of something or it'll just be an empty box. We'll see. But then I have a box for each phase. And I'm going to do something with it. Don't know what yet. And I'll update you without giving away a lot of details about the monthly medicine, because I pay for that and I'm going to respect Dawn Michelle's work. But I'll let you know like how I ended up using this. We'll see. Then I have all the things I love. This is what I've decided to do with this. Every day I would write something about my wife, something about my son, something I'm grateful for, and something I feel proud of. And there tends to be a lot of repetition, a lot of overlap. So I just decided to give myself 2 lines each day to just write about something I love. Write about all the things I love. Write gratitude. Write things I'm proud of. Just a couple small sentences about my day. Just a couple small sentences about my day every day that includes things I'm grateful for, things I did that I'm proud of, my son and my wife. And then we have a new thing, the month in tarot. So this will be the first video where you're actually hearing about this. I was going to be doing, I've been trying to do monthly Sparks videos where I talk about, like do show and tell favorites kind of video. And the novelty of doing it wore off, and I forget to write things down. It's not that, it turns out those videos just really aren't for me. Like as a creator, I love watching them, but they just don't seem to work for me. What I do want to do is I want to each month tell you about my month in tarot. So, and I think this is going to have multiple layers. One, I can talk to you about, like, if I was able to do an August one. I don't have the time to do an August one because I didn't gather the information as it went. But if I was going to do an August one, I would talk about how the Queen of Swords was stalking me. And I would also talk about the times where I pulled the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups. Water, air of water, water of air. I would talk about that. The idea is just at the end of the month, and I would also talk about patterns in my pulls throughout the month. Like this month in August was kind of all over the place. I pulled every single kind of card. I pulled the Knight of Cups 3 times. That's interesting. The idea, and then I would talk about just how it went, what things showed up, what things in tarot through the month were interesting. And also, I will be reflecting on things I've determined to do to work with in my tarot for the month. I won't be giving a lot of details about my tarot work through the monthly medicine as a boho tarot weaver of Dawn Michelle's channel, because that is a private thing, that it is only for the weavers. So I won't really talk about that. I might talk about how, like, if I got a lot of repeat cards, but I'm doing a new thing, and I don't want to spoil this, but this is for that new thing. So stay tuned. The next video you're gonna see will introduce this. And I'll make sure to take a clip of this to include and explain. But this is for my month of tarot. So I have a blank space here on the side where I can write things that I notice about tarot throughout the month, like stalker cards or what have you. The theme for the month is intuition. Okay, I can tell you that. And then these are, I have a week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then the few days of week 5. And then each day has 2 boxes. And this is for tarot intuition practice I want to try for the month of August, which you will hear about in Monday's video. So stay tuned for that, okay? That's coming out Monday. It's going to be the next video you see. That's the last thing for my August setup. But I thought I would show you my content, my long-term content planning setup. It's not colorized or filled in yet. But I had been doing this month, working on that. I started this, and this didn't end up working the way I wanted it to. But what I like doing is having a place to long-term plan my videos. This is part of my working on my resources, right? If I have long-term plans, then I can just look to the plans. And so what I've set up here is I've got 12 months. Starts with September because I've already set up for the month of August, where I would look at my calendar and I'll list down here, I'll list the dates of days where I have videos. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I have videos. So for September, it would look like this. So for September, it looks like this. I went through the calendar and I just wrote down the days that have a video. So I wrote down all the numbers for Friday, but I wrote them in order. So I'll have a video on the 2nd, 5th, 8th, 9th, 12th, 14th, 16th, 19th, 21st, 23rd, 26th, 28th, and 30th. The other thing of this, the reason why I have the calendar is because I have certain things. So I just started a series where I'm doing a video for the new moon and full moon every month. So I need to know when the new moon and full moon are. So the full moon in September is on the 10th. The new moon in September is on the 25th. I've also started a series, or announced the start of a series, which is coming late autumn, which you can check out up above in the cards, where I do my Walk in Wild Wisdom series. That video is up above in the cards. And part of that series involves the equinoxes and the solstices. The autumnal equinox is in September on the 22nd. So there. So this is the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm going to highlight and put some color on the titles. But the idea of what I'm doing here is I have a calendar so I can see at a glance what are the dates that are super time specific. The full moon one is super time specific. So is the new moon one. So is the equinox. So, excuse me. So I know that, so I need that visual reference. So that way I can start filling these in. Those are the 3 videos I input first based on the closest date that aligns with my planning schedule. And then I fill in the rest of my stuff. But that's the idea of what I'm doing here, is I have a place where I can have a visual reference of astrological or spiritual, like holiday event kind of things that are happening that trigger a video, so I can make sure I line up those dates so that way I can plan the rest of my content around it. So that's what I am going to be doing on this page. And I thought you might find that interesting to see that just here at the end. And that is it. That is the all of my August setup in my journal. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to come on back. Every Monday I put out a tarot themed video. Every Wednesday it is a random other witchy video. Like Wednesdays are when you can expect to see my full moon and new moon videos. And every Friday I do a journaling video. So you can follow along, even if all you want to see is the journaling, you can follow along and subscribe and just check in on Fridays. So you can do that, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Please let me know in the comments down below, what are you doing for the month of August? Do you have a theme? Do you have a particular thing you're working on? And also, if you have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments. Any requests, I'm happy to take those and address them as best I can. But I have to let you go here. Always remember, go out there and be the fool. Take the risk. Jump. For the love of God, jump. Because we never know when we're gonna run out of time to jump. And know that as you go on your journey, my love goes with you. I will see you very, very soon. Lots of love. Bye.